While I get the chance, I want to say hello to Mamelo in Lesotho, and thank you for all the work you're doing, and Andrea and Gary and Anna and Beth and whoever all is there, thank you again, and hope you can see us, and we're enjoying ourselves, and I hope you're enjoying yourselves too, and keep those messages coming. I forgot to mention this, probably too late, but there are some CDs of mine called Welcome to Bed Spring Island and some books called The Best of Time, The Worst of Time. The CDs are $20, the books are $12, and all the money is going to the schoolhouse. So if you like the songs, or if you want to, don't like the songs and want to destroy the evidence so that nobody else has to hear them, please pick one up, make a donation again. Now, the book is called The Best of Time, The Worst of Time, and I've got another book started called No Turn Unstoned, which is a book of short stories, and this story is one of the stories in that book. I don't know if I'll ever finish it, but it's called Doors Always Open. I was new on the West Coast. It was 1973, and here I was, a big city kid from Trana, living in a cabin in the woods on one of the smaller Gulf Islands. I was green, real green, considering myself on the vanguard of the Back to the Land movement. I floated along from day to day on a cloud of peace, love, and granola. Huey was my closest neighbor. He was a real pal. If you need to use the phone, doors always open. You need anything at all, just come on by and get it. Doors always open. He taught me how to use a chainsaw, how to fall a tree on a neighbor's vacant lot and cover up the stump with mud, so nobody knows it ain't a windfall, eh? I wasn't sure if I was imagining it or not, but it seemed that things started disappearing from my cabin. It's not like they were big, valuable things. I didn't have any of those. No, they were small things like my Super Puff Popcorn Magic Decoder Ring or my Newton Brook Lanes Pee Wee League runner-up bowling trophy. Certainly nothing worth stealing. One day I was over at Huey's place using the phone when I noticed one, and then another, and yet another of my missing stuff lying around the house. Huey was off island for the day, so I couldn't ask him about it. I struggled for an explanation. Theory after weird theory slithered through my brain. None of it made any sense. Finally, I decided that the only thing to do was to just ask him straight out. There was probably some simple explanation for it all. Yet still I agonized. I was afraid that if I asked him, it would somehow seem that I was accusing him of taking the stuff. Here he was doing all these kind and neighborly things for me, and I accuse him of stealing? The guilt was overbearing. After an entire week of this dialogue with myself, I came to the conclusion I would have to confront Huey. I broached the subject as diplomatically as possible. Listen, Huey, I've noticed that there are all these things, little things, they're not really important to me at all, but I was in your house the other day using your phone, and I want to thank you again for letting me do that all the time, and I really am going to have one installed in my cabin soon. But I found all these missing things, and I'm sure there's a perfectly good reason. But I found my missing stuff in your house. Listen, good buddy. I got this problem. I've got this uncontrollable urge to take things, to steal. They even got a name for it, kleptomania. At least that's what my parole officer called it. I could tell you that I won't do it again, but I will. I know I will. But if you find that you're missing anything, well, then you know that it's probably at my place. Just feel free to come on over and take it back. Door's always open. It seemed reasonable. So that's how we resolved the problem. Once a week, I took a cardboard box over to Huey's, filled it up with my missing stuff, and brought it back to my place. It was kind of fun, actually. Sort of like a treasure hunt. Now, one day when I was over at his house retrieving my stuff, a thought occurred to me. What would happen if I took some of Huey's things? How would he react to seeing his stuff in my house as he was rummaging through my stuff? I picked out a few of Huey's things, put them in the box, and brought them back to my place. I distributed them in prominent places around my cabin. It worked better than I could have imagined. I found that Huey had a preference for stealing back his own stuff. This simplified the whole process. Instead of having to take 2 cardboard boxes over to Huey's and filling one with my stuff and one with his, I now just needed 1 box for his things. My stuff seemed safe now. My friendship with Huey remained intact. Whenever we saw each other, neither of us would mention the subject, and it sort of fell into the weekly chores. One day, Jody, my nearest neighbor in the other direction, knocked on my door. From the look on his face, I could tell instantly that something was wrong. He spoke bluntly. I've been agonizing over this all week, but few of my things have gone missing. They're just little things, but I can't help but notice that they're here in your cabin. Door's always open.